From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
We have the latest now on wildfires devastating communities in Rosebud County over the weekend. We'll hear right from the front lines of the Remington Fire. Plus a homicide in the Billings Heights with one man now behind bars. We have the details on what we know right now. Plus a one-stop shop for your everyday healthcare needs. Montana Walmart pharmacies are launching a testing and treatment service. We've got cold and flu season coming right at us. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Monday, August 26th. I'm Augusta McDonnell. I've got Miller Robson here.
Morning.
Happy Monday to you all.
Yep.
We're looking at a big shift in our weather pattern this week.
Yeah, you know, we've got the rain. Today's the big story. We could see some excessive rainfall, so that's very helpful in terms of the wildfire. The only problem is those areas that have recent burn scars, well, we could see some flash flooding because some areas could get upwards of an inch of rain off of this deep low that's coming out of the southwest that will dump that rain across the area. We'll show you the latest track of that low coming up. You can see a great shot there from the Stockman Pink weather camera. We do have some rain around Yellowstone County. 81 was the high yesterday, just a tad bit below average, a little warmer than the norm with our low. Top gust yesterday of 24 miles an hour. We've seen some rain out there, so we're up to about just over 0.8 of an inch, 0.85. So we're still pacing ahead for the month. Hopefully, with that year, though, we can maybe make a nice dent into the deficit there with this low. Looks like it's shifting more to the east of Yellowstone County. I think we have here in Billings a legitimate shot of at least 1/10 of an inch of rain, but the further east you go in the state, that's where we have a chance to see some of that heavier rainfall. Raining right now at Logan, sitting at 61, humidity at 75%. The winds are calm. Temperatures across the area 40s, 50s, and 60s. And there's a live look at the Doppler as that monsoonal moisture makes its way through today. Enjoy the rain today because there's not a lot in the forecast moving forward. We'll take a look at that with the main forecast coming up.
All right, Miller, thank you so much for tracking that. And like he was talking about, several Montana and Wyoming counties remain on high alert as wildfires continue to burn hundreds of thousands of acres. Officials say weather conditions are improving. Fire crews are making good progress on these blazes. Let's start off the top with the Remington Fire. This began in Wyoming, but quickly spread to Montana, impacting Bighorn, Rosebud, and Powder River counties. That fire now sits right around 190,000 acres and remains 0% contained. However, the evacuation warning at the Tongue River State Park is now lifted, and the Rosebud County Sheriff's Office says firefighters are effectively managing this blaze. Evacuation notices remain in effect in Decker and Ashland. And we've got some good news on the House Draw fire. This is down by Gillette, Wyoming. That fire, sparked by lightning southeast of Gillette, is now burning 175,000 acres, and it's 88% contained. The fire shut down the interstate, I-90 between Buffalo and Gillette, that reopened on Thursday. All evacuation orders are now lifted. In all, nearly 700 firefighters are fighting the two fires, along with the Constitution and Flat Rock fires. Those are down in Wyoming as well. And now we've got a firsthand account of what it was like to be on the front lines of these massive wildfires. As our Charlie Kleps reports, while those flames may finally be slowing down, the devastation left behind is going to be felt for a long time.
With the Remington Fire raging on this weekend, the loss continues to pile up.
It's heartbreaking to know that they're losing their livelihood.
Livestock and land continue to burn from the fire, which began in Wyoming and is now leaving its imprint in Montana.
There's quite a few animals that were, burned in this fire.
The sights and sounds daunting, keeping rural volunteer fire departments like the one in Broadus extra busy.
We pretty much were out there for 2 full days and nights.
Long shifts that this small crew of just 15 has gotten used to this summer. They say they've helped with 50 different incidents just this year.
We cover our whole county, even though we have some fire districts that help out.
Sometimes traveling great distances to help out. They say they've been on the front line fighting the flames of the Remington Fire since it jumped the Wyoming-Montana state line.
There's line around the whole thing, and most of it has been burned black out to the line.
That blackout means progress in containing the fire. However, they know there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
It won't be controlled for probably even a couple weeks.
A small group committed to helping however they can in a desperate time of need.
We're fortunate in that our community supplies us with the best equipment out there, so we can do a lot more with a lot less people.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Charlie, thank you so much. Now back in Billings, we've got the latest on the discovery of a body now being investigated as a homicide. Officers found the body of a 52-year-old woman in an apartment on Sioux Lane up in the Heights after she wasn't seen for days. Neighbors called concerned about her safety. When arriving on scene, police say they located the body and found a 45-year-old man alive inside the residence. That man, Shane Roberts, is now behind bars, held on a charge of deliberate homicide. For neighbors, they remember a woman who was always looking out for others.
She was the sweetest woman, just the friendliest soul, always had a smile, always laughing.
She was friendly with all of us. For crying out loud, she found a Barbie house and brought it over for our daughter.
Neighbors say they believe Roberts was her live-in boyfriend after he started out as her caretaker. As of now, police have released no other details into the homicide, including the woman's name or how she died. And overseas, in international headlines this morning, concerns of a broader war continue to grow after Israel and Hezbollah militants in neighboring Lebanon exchanged fire Sunday. Israeli officials say it was a preemptive strike to stop a significant attack against them. This morning, things appear calm after both sides claimed victory. CBS's Carissa Lawson has the latest from New York.
High-level negotiations in Cairo towards a ceasefire and hostage exchange between Israel and Hamas failed to produce a breakthrough over the weekend, though lower-level talks are expected to continue. It comes after Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah fighters on Sunday had their biggest exchange of fire since conflict broke out in the region 10 months ago, briefly raising fears of an all-out war.
It is incumbent on all parties in the region to work towards de-escalation and stability.
Israel says it launched a preemptive strike using around 100 military planes to destroy thousands of Hezbollah rocket launchers.
We carried the real-time operation in order to degrade those capabilities that were about to be launched at Israel. We were successful.
Hours later, Israel said it intercepted hundreds of rockets and drones launched by Hezbollah. The militant group says its counterattack was in retaliation for the recent assassination of one of its founders. Things appear to have calmed down for now, with both sides claiming victory after hitting what they claimed were military targets. Though Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said this was, quote, not the end of the story. White House officials say President Joe Biden has been monitoring the Middle East situation. And on Sunday, the Pentagon said that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered 2 U.S. aircraft carriers to remain in the region for deterrence. Carissa Lawson, CBS News.
And in campaign news this morning, looking to build momentum off the DNC and from the RFK Jr. endorsement, the Harris and Trump campaigns are gearing up for grassroots outreach this week. Both campaigns planning to hit the road with just 71 days left until the general election. This week, Trump heads back to Michigan twice and Pennsylvania on Friday, and Harris will go on another bus tour, this time across Georgia. Back here in Billings, a one-stop shop for your everyday healthcare needs. Montana Walmart pharmacies are launching a testing and treatment service as cold and flu season nears. The program allows pharmacists to test for flu, strep, and COVID-19, immediately prescribing medication without having to visit a doctor. Our Haley Monaco has more details.
If you're not feeling well, you have a sore throat or a stuffy nose, this would usually be one of the first stops to get something figured out. But now this may be where you're headed to, as Walmart pharmacies across Montana have recently launched their testing and treatment services. In a place with so many options,
I just like the variety.
One more has been added.
For someone that just has like a really mild case of what they think is the flu or the early onset of strep, I mean, you can come here, get treated within half an hour, 45 minutes.
Testing and treatment now allows Walmart pharmacists to test customers for flu, strep, and COVID-19. If positive, pharmacists then prescribe the appropriate treatment, all in one place during one trip.
It's going to take a lot of pressure off of our urgent cares. It's going to be a lot more accessible.
55 out of 56 counties in Montana are designated as health professional shortage areas with limited access to both urgent and routine medical visits.
We have two really close walk-in clinics that just get overwhelmed, especially during cold and flu season. So it's going to take a lot of pressure off them also.
Testing and treatment is available at all 14 of Walmart pharmacies in Montana.
I think that's a really great idea.
While it may not be typical for pharmacists to prescribe medication, the Walmart on King Avenue's pharmacist manager, Arminda Mir, says they have been training for months.
With our PharmD, we get a lot of training on diagnosing and then learning what would be prescribed and how those medications work. So it's really just a continuation of the education that we already had.
The prices range from $150 to $175. A spot filled with variety, hoping to lessen the burden as cold and flu season approaches. In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Haley, thank you so much. If you were in Laurel this Saturday, it was hard to miss the long line of Corvettes weaving through town. Laurel Chevrolet hosted a part of one of the world's largest moving automotive events, the National Corvette Caravan. The Pacific Northwest Caravan of Corvettes that stopped in Laurel was just one of around 20 different caravans from all over the U.S. headed to the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's also home to the only Corvette assembly plant in the world. That event is hosted every 5 years, this year marking the museum's 30th anniversary. This particular caravan left Oregon and Washington Thursday for Butte, landed in Laurel Saturday, and will be taking the Beartooth Pass to Cody, Wyoming as they continue their journey east.
Started out with 250 Corvettes, and we're being joined tomorrow night by an additional 100 from Central California that are coming up and joining with us, and an additional 25 that are coming down from Western Canada. We'll be tomorrow night at dinner about 355 or so Corvettes.
By Wednesday, there's going to be over 3,500 Corvettes from all over the U.S. in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Montana's 2024 Clean Energy Fair was held this Saturday at MSU Billings. It's an event that showcases the sustainability efforts in our community. Our Matt Carmack has this.
The Montana Renewable Energy Association works every day to make sure that this state is as clean and sustainable as can be. That's why this Saturday they hosted their annual Clean Energy Fair to help reach out to the public and inform them about some of these organizations that are working to make Montana a cleaner and greener state.
2024 marks 13 years of the Clean Energy Fair in Montana.
You know, who would have thought Billings was going to lead sustainability within the state of Montana?
What seems like a fun Saturday activity is actually about education, informing the public on some of the special things Montana is doing to become more sustainable.
I think renewable energies as a resource is becoming a mainstay, definitely nationwide, but we're certainly seeing that in Montana. So again, we want to empower people with the tools to make the right choice for them.
As the executive director of the MREA, McKenna Sellers is passionate about the environment. Bringing this event to Billings for the second year in a row gives some local government and organizations a chance to introduce some of their initiatives to the public.
So I like that we're bringing that diversity to the state and providing a good diverse energy mix for Montana.
Showing off the new strategies the city is using to save money while being sustainable. Their methane capture plan has already earned the city $5 million.
It's an excellent example of the city having a sustainable footprint as well as saving money for the city.
The plan is to capture the methane that comes from our landfills and recycle it for our trash trucks to run on, saving cost and energy.
But what's most important is that as part of that relationship, the city's received almost $5 million in terms of royalties associated with that effort from MDU.
That's just one of the things that Billing Chair for the Energy and Conservation Department, Glenn Foy, has been working on. He's also got a plan to use the west end of the city to draw water downhill rather than pump uphill to save energy.
There were so many great things that were ongoing at the city relative to sustainability.
The fair gave residents the opportunity to learn about some of the city's plans for efficiency, but also ways to make their lives more energy costly, like how to create their own compost and electrify homes affordably.
If they want to integrate renewables into their house or their business, maybe they're just looking for more ways to save on energy or electricity and come up with some energy efficiency measures, that we want to empower people with the ways to get connected to make that happen.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.